So our second Pioneer challenge is the goal really is going to build a brand new terminal. Terminal.app, is a wonderful piece of software. We think it hasn't changed much since the 1980s, maybe even 70s, depending on how you count. List machines were great devices you could plug into your television. But at the end of the day, the experience that you get is fairly similar to the experience you get on a Macintosh today. Meanwhile, on the other hand, a lot of the world has changed. We have collaborative software. We have, multitasking. We have presence based on what other people are doing. The world has come online, and yet the terminal is still stuck in kind of myopic offline, island somewhere. And we think it'd be a lot of fun to build a better terminal, to really rethink the terminal from scratch. Superhuman kind of terminal, really brought to the 21st century. That's to us kind of a very inspiring vision we spend a lot of time getting fired up about, and we think this could be a fun way to frame a challenge for anyone who's kind of curious to start a startup but isn't quite sure what to build to do. So the idea here is, if you're listening to this, the idea here is to build a better terminal, to make a redesigned terminal, take us kind of from the world of Nokia smartphones to the iPhone. How it would look like, we don't know, but one idea is just to create, much like you can see in this video, a kind of sense of ambient presence where you can kind of see the projects that other people are working on. And, maybe there's even chat integrated into the terminal. And so you have the opportunity to kind of check in and see what other coworkers are doing. A shared Command R across your team we think could be really interesting. Kind of easier SSHing into AWS or GCP, integrating Stack Overflow, or maybe even GPT-3, such that when you get a bug, options and solutions are presented automatically for you. Anything else that really excites you. We think that this is a really fun project because a lot of people watching this can be building the solution themselves, right? Hopefully. So the format we're going to have for this challenge is going to be a little bit different from what we've done previously. First, we are going to start off with a hackathon that will be 48 hours long. The nice thing about this is you can get started. You don't really even have to commit to doing much more than just a small hackathon weekend. What we're going to do is we're going to take folks who win that hackathon. We're going to take the top 5 entries that we get, building a better terminal, and we're going to, for free, if they choose to and are interested, incorporate those folks into companies. And so very risk-free to enter. And at this stage of incorporation, there's no equity, there's no investment. We just say, gosh, you can go on to the next step. And that's kind of our second phase. In the third phase, 5 companies will spend a month building out their prototype. You're going to submit kind of weekly status reports on Frontier, which is a website we're going to link to. And then in our fourth phase, we're going to select the top 3 by popular vote. And then the fifth and final phase, the winner will be selected by us, and they will win Pioneer Gold, a $20,000 investment in exchange for 5% of the company. So that's pretty exciting. You can get started just by doing a hackathon over the weekend, and if one thing leads to the next, maybe it'll turn into a real company. I think there's a lot of interesting questions one may want to answer, like how do these products ultimately make revenue, and what their market is. A lot of fun for people to figure out. So at a high level, the goal is fairly simple. Build a better terminal, potentially start a startup, and get $20,000 in funding from us. The first phase, this hackathon phase, begins on August 7th. On August 7th. So that is next weekend. And so this could be an opportunity for you over the next coming days. You can sign up, you can register on our website, Pioneer.APP/challenge. And you'll be ready to go for the hackathon, maybe even recruit a friend or two, and see how you do. And that's kind of it from us. We think that the world ought to have many more founders. The world ought to have many more companies. And the trick is that you're often not quite sure when to start a business, what to start a business with. And the challenge is our attempt to try to make this a little bit more fun, a little bit more friendly, a little bit more accessible to people. So no need to overthink it. I don't know what your plans were next weekend, but you may want to try this. There's almost no downside for you, and potentially only upside. You may meet some friends, challenge yourself to something fun and exciting, and work on something that's new and invigorating, a better terminal. It's the type of product that if it succeeds, gosh, the chances are small and it'll probably fail. But if it succeeds, boy, it'd be amazing to be walking around a coffee shop somewhere in some city in the future and seeing every developer using the piece of software that you make. That'd be a lot of fun. And the beautiful thing about the terminal is it has not been touched since the 80s, so there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. All right. Well, hopefully that was exciting for folks. We are certainly excited to see what you produce. Go to pioneer.app/challenge and register and get started. We are very excited to see where folks take this, and we're excited to use it. You know, iTerm is awesome, but we're pretty convinced you can make even a better iTerm with a little bit of effort.